Wow. So the first thing that I've noticed, the very first thing is this video is proudly sponsored by VR Wave, which offer a full range of prescription lens inserts for your VR headsets. And whether you wear a Quest or an HTC, Valve, and of course Pimax, they cater for all of these brands. And it's really important to wear lens inserts because it helps protect those very expensive lenses. And if you do wear glasses, then it's even more important because VR Wave lens inserts cater for astigmatisms and nearsighted and farsightedness, and they have blue light filters to help combat motion sickness and insomnia. All the links for VR Wave, including a very nice 5% discount, will be in the description below. A very warm welcome back to the channel, and it's time for another first impressions of a new Pimax Crystal Super optical engine. Perhaps this one is the most exciting though, because this is the 4K Sony Micro-OLED Optical Engine. And in this video, I'm going to take you on a journey with me to see what it's like trying it for the first time, because those reactions you just don't get back. It's worth noting though that this isn't the final version, unfortunately. This is capped at 72 Hz. And also the field of view is 108 degrees, not the full 116 horizontal field of view. And also the eye tracking is not working. However, everything else will be final, including the optic stack, the panel, and the lens to eye distance, which has been changed based upon feedback. So without further ado, this is my first impressions. I hope you enjoy it. Wow. So the first thing that I've noticed, the very first thing is the brightness. I'm so relieved because I'm not sure if you've seen my first impressions of the Dream Air, but I was really underwhelmed by the brightness, and Pimax did tell me that was due to a firmware issue. I was a bit unsure about that, but straight away, I'm not even in the aircraft yet, and the colours are absolutely popping out. Probably like I've never seen before, actually. Yeah, no, even the micro-OLEDs that I've tried before, I can just tell straight away that the colours are absolutely gorgeous, even just looking at this menu. The second thing that I'm thinking is the field of view in this does feel quite small. It feels quite strange as well because I've got this large headset on, but yet the field of view is quite small. But that's because this is a pre-production OLED module. So I'm only getting around 108 degrees field of view, not 116 degrees. Now, there's something that I'm a bit dubious about with this change, because if this ends up being really comfortable on my eyes, and I can already tell in terms of the binocular overlap, it feels really nice, very comfortable to look through. You know, like I can imagine, I will test this, but I can imagine simming in this for 3 hours will be no issues at all. I do hope that the final version with 116 degrees field of view will be as comfortable as this, because this does feel immediately just very nice on the eyes. Wow. Okay, so another thing I want to say as well, because this is the first impressions, I'm going to go through all the things, so it might be a bit boring to look at, but this is my first thoughts on camera, and you just can't get those emotions back, folks. That's why I do these first impressions, because you're coming on this journey with me, seeing my reactions for the first time. And yeah, the second thing is, because this is a pre-production model, I'm capped at 72 Hertz. I'm the kind of person who hates low refresh rate, but already I can actually say to you guys that 72 Hertz feels absolutely fine in this, which is amazing. That's a big plus for this headset. And in terms of like strobing and stuff, I don't really notice it because micro-OLED. I will say though that the big screen beyond at 75 Hz, I can tell a little bit in that, but even at 72 with this Sony panel, feels very, very comfortable. This could be 90 hertz actually. So I might even use this at 70 hertz anyway. 72 hertz, sorry. That's the next thing. So let's now have a look. I've got a box in front of me, so this is a good opportunity to check for warping, distortions, because if those edges here and above me here, basically if this square kind of distorts as I'm moving up and down, then I can tell that there is some warping. And actually, to be fair, I mean, there is a bit there, but it's ever so slight. And for me, it's more, I think, related to the concave design of the lenses, I would imagine, more so than the warping profile itself, which absolutely feels great. That square, menu is just not moving at all as I'm looking left and right. That to me is great. I mean, I'm not quite sure what you might be expecting when you're in VR, folks, but at the end of the day, they may be a little bit of warping on the edges. But to see that, what you have to do is crane your eyes left or right and then really do this weirdly to kind of look to see if there's any movement. And let's be honest, who the hell is going to be doing that? Nobody, really. So I think that's fine. Right, anyway, folks, let's just get into an aircraft. And what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to try the same aircraft and depart from the same airfield, Innsbruck, as I did in the Dream Air, with similar type of weather, because it's still very fresh in my memory. So we'll do that, and I'll see you on the runway in a moment. Oh boy, I'm actually really excited about this. When you've been doing this as much as me, you tend to not get quite so excited. Whoa. Oh, that looks really good. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited what I'm seeing here. This looks... Oh my god, that's sharp. Yeah, what I was trying to say is... Wow. No, I wasn't trying to say that. Hang on. What I was trying to say is when you've been doing this for many years like me and you've seen all the VR headsets, all the top-end VR headsets, it takes a lot to impress me and for me to get excited. And this, yeah, my first reaction with this is that I am absolutely blown away with these visuals. And it reminds me exactly, again, like the Dream Air, I was on this very runway looking over there, and the sharpness, because of the pancake lenses, the way that the optics can really resolve a lot of that resolution, I can see the individual trees so crisp and clear here. And you know what? I think, yeah, I'm running in DLSS 4 right now. So... and the gauges look really sharp, but they could look sharper than this. Let me just show you actually what I'm running. Whew, yeah, that's good. Let me just show you the VR settings that I'm running, and we'll also take a look at the rendered resolution as well. So, this is what I'm running at the moment. Okay, medium and high. Few little ultra bits and bobs here and there. And it's funny, I've been using this sim recently, just flying for myself, not for YouTube content. And I didn't realise that Asobo decided to set all of my graphic settings to ultra in VR. I didn't even notice with the 5090. That's crazy. And I think a lot of that is thanks to Sim Update 4 as well. So yeah, I've been messing around a lot in the Mega Next just to get me prepared for this, so I can really give you a good sort of first impressions comparison. But let's have a look here. So take the foliage rendering off. That's actually higher than I expected. 580 by 490, 4090. That could be because I've got it set to auto, and I think with a 5090 it slightly oversamples it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. lots to think about here, and again, this is not a review of the Micro-OLED Optical Engine. It can't be, because this is a pre-production model. It's not the final version. I don't even have eye tracking working. It's just fixed foveated rendering. So there's lots of things to test, and I'll give you my full in-depth conclusion and comparisons. But for now, let's just... oh yeah, now we're in TAA mode. I will say, in terms of sharpness, I do feel the 57 just edges it out a little bit here, but this is neatly in between the 50 and the 57. And oh my god, just look, yeah, the brightness in this is really good. This is similar brightness to the Megan X, I would say. I'm not sure, it might be a little bit brighter. I'll have to do a full A/B comparison. Absolutely beautiful visuals here. And all at 72 Hertz as well, and it feels really comfortable. I was not expecting that. So let me just say again, regarding comfort, the comfort of this is insanely good. Like, don't be fooled, because I know it looks like I'm wearing a brick on my head, and technically I kind of am, but because this module is so light, incredibly light, I don't even need a top strap on the Super. Something I've always said is that you do need that top strap. Don't need it in this at all. But I must admit, if I did have a top strap, God, it would make it even more comfortable. Yeah, I think this is more comfortable than the Dream Air, but of course that was a prototype. Anyway, enough of this. Let's get airborne for a moment. What I'm going to do, I'll do a quick circuit. I'm not going to make this video too long because, well, it's getting late. But I'll do a quick circuit, check the black levels. I'll go into a discovery flight, something different, and then I'll give you my sort of, I won't say conclusion, but my kind of wrapping up my thoughts of this first impressions. But so far, oh, those colours. The thing is, people don't quite understand about this style of display. It's not just about the black levels, guys. Even in a scene like this, it is the colours in the daytime, the blues, the greens, the displays in the cockpit, the darker areas, and this beautiful brown and yellow, and the G3000s just popping at me. I think that's what makes it feel sharper than it is as well, because the colours are so gorgeous. Right then folks, I've just checked the recording and I've noticed that the microphone is the same as the Super, which is probably because the microphone is in the housing itself, not the module. That's something I did notice about the Dream Air, is it had a much better microphone. Although the one on this isn't terrible, it's definitely usable. Right, anyway, oh, this looks good. Let's just go flying, for God's sake. We're getting really nice performance here, but of course I am using my RTX 5090 by Stormforce. This is a computer you can actually get £200 off through my discount code, which is not affiliated, guys. Not that that should matter anyway, but it's not affiliated. Go grab a bargain. But this, yeah, this feels so smooth. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this looks... Look at the... I'm saying look at this. You're not going to see it like I am, but I will do some through the lens footage at some point in the near future, guys. I'll probably do a separate through the lens video like I did with the Dream Air. But now that I have it here to use as much as I want, I can probably showcase various scenes, you know, and do a good 10-15 minute video of through the lens footage if you're interested. But this just looks absolutely friggin' sensational. It really does. Right, anyway, let's get back to testing, because I'm getting a bit overwhelmed here by just pure joy. This is what I love about VR hardware. It's so exciting to see how much it's improved and the big advancements we're making in such a short time. Right, that's interesting. One thing that I have noticed, now that I'm airborne, there is a little bit of a strobing effect that I see every now and then, and that's because of the low refresh rate. Now, I'm a bit of a weirdo. I notice these little details, and I'm pretty sure that most people out there won't even notice. But that doesn't matter anyway, because of course when this ships, it's going to have a full 90 Hz mode anyway. So if you've got a lower spec computer, you can definitely run this. I think a 4070 Ti will be able to run this just fine. Maybe not full native resolution, but it doesn't matter. I think even at say 80%, this is still going to look so frigging good. Let's look for color fringing on the outer edges, something that is inherent with micro OLED. And yeah, to be fair, it's a non-issue. I could probably spot it in the last 1 to 2%, just like the Dream Air, but that's not an issue for me. No, that's not an issue for me at all. I'm having to crane my eyes up and down to try and even detect it, and you just don't fly like that, guys. You don't walk around looking like that, you know, or flying like that in real life. Okay, so next I'm going to try a black levels test, and this should be one of the micro OLED's party pieces, because of course you'll get pure blacks. The weird thing is though, when I tried this panel in the Dream Air, I noticed it wasn't purely black. It was nothing to do with the sim, nothing to do with the fact that there was city lights. I've flown in a scene like this many times before. Areas of black should always be black. So it may be due to that firmware bug. I hate it when it does that stupid little stutter you get when you open up the menu. So let's try this and see what happens. Okay, wow. Wow. Oh yeah. That looks absolutely amazing. Let me just again do what I did last time. Instrument lights off best I can. Wow, yeah, black levels look far better in this. Far better. That's really strange. I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, black levels are kind of what I was hoping for. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, that box is ticked well and truly. Beautiful. One thing that I haven't noticed, hang on, let me just mess around here with the okay, right, so in terms of glare, this is the thing, right, because you're not always going to see it, but changing the lighting conditions here, I am seeing a very small amount of glare on the bottom sort of portion of the display. A little bit like the big screen beyond actually, but nowhere near as bad. Absolutely nowhere near as bad. And I think that's acceptable levels really, because you're not going to get absolutely zero glare like you would with the spheric lenses. You know, they are trade-offs here, and it's great that we have these different optical engines depending upon what's important to you. But in this case, the glare, and I hate glare, folks, I really do detest glare. There is an ever so slight amount on the bottom portion of the lens. If I kind of do this, it kind of moves and then disappears. Like there's no glare there. There's a bit of glare at the bottom there. So that's something to think about. This is not completely glare free, but I will say, compared to all of the micro OLED VR headsets I've ever tried, that's the Play for Dream, the Megan X, the Big Screen Beyond 2. I won't mention version 1 because the glare in that was awful. This is by far the best lenses I've seen to date, simply because of that lack of glare. It is there, but it's nowhere near as bad. And in terms of the sweet spot, it's very nice as well. Very, very good. I will say actually that I think if I had to compare this to the big screen beyond version 2, the edge-to-edge clarity in the sweet spot of the Beyond 2 is better than this. Now that I've tried this again, I do think the vertical sweet spot isn't quite as good. However, this is far better than the Mega Next sweet spot and way better than the Play for Dream. I mean, you're not going to get these visuals, folks, in the Play for Dream, in my opinion. You're just not going to. You know, full DisplayPort goodness in this with a Sony 4K Micro-OLED display. It is phenomenal. It looks so beautiful in this. And in terms of tracking, that's the great thing about this Micro-OLED module. Unlike the Dream Air, this is all ready to go pretty much in terms of the inside-out tracking, the DMAS audio. I'm pretty confident that I could fly in this probably even all day. After this video, I'm going to make a different video flying the Black Square Bonanza full flight, and it'll be at least a 2-3 hour flight. And in that video, I'll also test how it feels on a long session. Right, folks, anyway, that will do. I can't be asked to land. Let's now go into a different scene and maybe like a nice sort of atmospheric dusk scene and see how that feels in a different aircraft. See you in a moment. Oh, absolutely friggin' beautiful. Oh, wow. So, okay, let's just start summing this up because I feel I can already do that with this module, especially because I've used the Dream Air now as well. So in terms of the display and optics, it is a killer combination. This is the best VR visuals I've seen to date. And of course, well, I haven't mentioned this, but there's absolutely no mirror in this. But that's obvious because Micro-OLED is a different technology. So you're not going to get anything, any sort of interruptions between the panel and that view, which is absolutely bite the back of your hand. Just friggin' gorgeous. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, no mirror. Beautiful optics. I think the optics are fantastic in this overall. Don't get me wrong, it's not edge to edge. You know, you're not going to see completely clear to the edge of the display if you look around with your eyes. You're not. So if anyone tells you that, that's wrong. There is, you know, still an eye box there, but it is very nice and big, and I don't have any issues with that at all. It's the combination of the colours and the clarity. It's just a massive wow moment, you know? And that's the magic of this 4K Sony display. And I know this panel is expensive, but once you look through it for the first time, you will know why. Straight away, you'll go, ah, right. That explains it. It's a bit like a really expensive high-definition OLED, like 4K or 8K TV. So in terms of visuals, it is absolutely right up there. Right up there. Superb. However, there are some drawbacks with the Micro-OLED engine. Smaller field of view, for example. It definitely has a smaller field of view. Now, of course, I'm not running the 116-degree final version, so I can't really comment on that too much, and I've decided I'm not going to do a measurement because there's no point, because it's going to be different for the final unit. At the moment, I'm only rendering about 108 degrees horizontal. For me, though, I'm all about visual clarity first, and I am a fanboy of Micro-OLED, folks, so be aware I do love Micro-OLED, and this screen is the best I've seen to date. It really is. I think that's all I'm going to say for this first impressions. It's an open-ended story because what I'm trying to do right now is give you my thoughts on something that is a moving target. This is a pre-production model. It has no eye tracking. I'm running at 72 Hz, which actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, is fine for my eyes, which never happens. So that's impressive. And of course, we're limited with the field of view figures here. This is a lot lower, at 108 horizontal degrees field of view. So it is a pre-production model. But from what I've seen so far, the fundamentals are there in terms of the visuals. And I really can't wait to try the final version. And also get to know this module as well, because I'm now going to spend lots of time with this so I can give you more in-depth sort of opinions on it and do a full flight, because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to feel after a couple of hours or so in it. Do you know what I mean? So that's it, folks. This has been the Pimax Super Micro OLED pre-production optical engine. And I'm sure I've missed a ton of things out, but don't worry. This is just the first of a series of videos. Now's your chance to let me know in the comments below, what would you like to see? DCS World, X-Plane, MSFS2024, full flights, certain tests and scenarios, anything you'd like me to test, let me know in the comments below. And if you are looking at getting a Crystal Super, the OLED module, or the Dream Air, the Crystal Light, I do have a discount code, an affiliate link which does help support the channel. And I must also mention before I forget that Pimax do have a Black Friday deal, and I think I have a special discount code for that. Thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate the support. I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.